Hey everyone, welcome to ENH iSecure blog. I'm Prince. In this video, we are going to see how we can create workflow inside the SailPoint IdentityNow. Along with it, we will attach the workflow with SailPoint Launcher. But before directly dive into the creation, let's take one real-time scenario here. Let's assume Sam. He's an employee at company XYZ. Typically, he works from the office. However, due to some severe flooding near his home, he is unable to commute. As a crucial member of an ongoing project, Sam needs to work from home, which requires VPN access. He has requested VPN access through the SailPoint Request Center, but the designated approver is on leave for the next 2 days. It is a requirement from our client side. So to address such emergencies, the client needs a system that can grant emergency VPN access to employees during critical times when the regular approval process is delayed or unavailable.
I am inside my tenant. Make sure you are having a admin level permission, otherwise you won't be able to create forms and workflows. So navigate to admin, global and click on forms. So once you will inside the forms, click on new form. Here we have to give some suitable name for our forms. So I am going to give emergency access form. And description we can give. So I'm going to give for providing emergency access. Continue to builder. Now we have to define our structure for the forms. So as I already defined in a previous video that we are having a two kinds of structure with our forms. One is section, second is field. So first we need to create on add section. Here we have to create our section. So let me give some suitable name here. Again we can give emergency access form. For the text style, I am going to leave as a heading 2 only. In section description, we can give some suitable description. So I'm going to give for providing emergency access. And for the alignment, I'm going to select on align center. Click on apply. As we already been defined our section, now click on add. Now we have to create the fields. So as I already have said, we are having a different kinds of fields. But currently we need a field from where we can define our identities and entitlements. So I'm going to use the select field option. So this option, it is giving me a label, technical keys, help text. So one by one we are going to understand. So let me give some suitable name for my label. So we can give select identities. In a technical key, it will be auto-generated. You don't have to do anything here. And I'm going to make it as a mark as required. In help text, if you have any description, you can give. Currently, I'm not giving anything. For the placeholder text, I'm going to give some suitable text so that user can understand what it has to do here. So I'm going to write select identity from here. Required selection, let it as usual. Maximum selection, definitely how many selection we can do at once. So I'm just leaving it as one. And option type. So as you can see, currently it is static. So static where you can define your own selections. But currently I'm going to use the predefined option from where I'm going to choose the identities because I want my user to choose the identities from the existing identities. So everything is good. Click on apply. Now just go back. As you can see, one field is successfully created. Now I need one more field from where my user can select the entitlement, which we have to give as a emergency access. So click on add once again. Click on select field. Inside the select field, again, we have to give some label. So let's give select entitlement. And in a technical key, it will be auto-generated, mark as required. In a placeholder text, we can give some helpful text for our user. So I'm going to give select entitlement to provision. Select required selection, maximum selection 1 as usual. Option type, we are going to use the predefined, and inside the predefined values, we have to choose the entitlements so that from the existing entitlements, user can select the entitlement. Click on apply, go back. So our form is created successfully. Now let's preview it and try to give one name. Let's see, I'm giving Sam. So Sam Smith, and let's try to give the VPN access and test validation. Okay, we have got this success. It means good to go. Just go back and save this form. I am inside my tenant. Let me navigate to admin workflows. Click on new workflow. As you can see, we are having a three option to choose from. If you go with the selector template, so you will see some predefined workflows that is already been defined by the SailPoint. But I want to create my workflow from scratch. So I'm selecting on build a new workflow. Here we are going to give some suitable name for our workflow. So let me give the name. Click on continue to builder. As you can see, this is our workflow page where we are going to create our workflow. If I'm going one by one to these options, triggers, actions, and operators. So as I already been defined in my previous video that we are having a three steps inside the workflow to choose from. So trigger is nothing but from where the workflow will start triggering. Then the second step, we are going to choose the actions. So what we want to achieve from our workflow that we are going to get from our actions. And then at last, we are going to have operators, which will give us some kind of operations to use to. And at bottom, as you can see, we are having validator. So it will let us know that workflow is validated or not. In the right side, we are having some more options. So one by one, we will explore everything. So let me create my trigger. I'm going to select this interactive trigger. I'm choosing interactive trigger because I want to use this workflow using my launchers. And as you can see, once I have drag and drop this interactive trigger in the right side, it is asking me to create one launcher. But currently I'm not going to create any launcher. First, I want to complete my workflow. Then we'll see the launchers. Now we have to select the actions. From here, we have to select which kind of actions you want to perform. From the first step, I want to take data from the forms. So we have to choose interactive form. So here it is. Let me drag and drop. Okay. So we are having interactive form and we are having interactive trigger. So let me connect by using this small bubble. Okay, right. Okay. So it is connected. Once the interactive trigger will be triggered, it will go to the form and will ask for the form from the user. So once I have selected this form, it is asking some more information from me. So as you can see, it is asking for the description for the form. So I'm going to leave it blank and form. Form is a mandatory field. So we have to provide which form you have to use. So we already have created the emergency access form. I'm going to use it title. So we need to give some title for our form. So I'm going to give grant emergency access. Grant. For the message body, I'm going to leave it as as like that. Click on save. As we can see, it is showing one validation error, and you can read it why you are getting this error. Okay. Now, once the user will provide the input, we have to use this input to get our identity and entitlement. So let me use one action called get identity and just connect this identity with our interactive form. Now, from the get identity, we are having options identity. Here, we can directly use which identity you want, or you can use from where the value of the identity will come. So click on enter value and choose the variable, and click on the open variable selector. So open variable selector accept the value in the form of JSON, and I already have said that we are going to use the interactive form to get the identity. So I have chosen the interactive form and click on select identities, click on save. So as you can see, it has created one JSON body for me. Now I want to get the manager data so that we can send some email regarding the access changes of the identity to our manager. So let me choose one more action called get identity, because manager is also identity, and we are going to get this manager data from our identity data. Okay. Inside the identity, choose variable, open variable selector, click on get identity. From here we have to choose the manager. So scroll down and ID, save it. Great. We have got our manager object as well. In the next step, I want to get the access object, because from our form we are getting two datas, one related to the identity and second is related to our access. So let me choose one action called get access. Where it is? Okay, here it is. Let me connect this. Now, once you click on the get access, as you can see, we are having some other option to choose from. So here it is asking for access selection methods. It is simply asking from where this access object come from. So I want this access object should come from the form data. Okay. So if you select on it, we are having two options to choose from, by identity and by search query. By identity I cannot choose because from the identity I don't want to get any data related to the access. So I have to choose the by search query, and I need to write one JSON body here. You can just write the same way I'm writing here. Okay. So what I did here, I have written in the form of JSON body, and you have to make sure that your JSON body should start with the dollar sign. So I'm simply asking this search query to get data from the interactive form and the data that is related to the form data, and which is select entitlement. Okay. We are having some option to choose from, like which kind of accesses you want to get. So I just want entitlement. Okay. So I'm just deselecting these two options and click save. Great. We have got our access data as well. Now we have to define what we want to do with this data. Okay, so let me select one more action called manage access. So what we are going to do here, now we are going to define that after getting this access, we have to add this access to the identity. Okay, and that we can define inside the manage access. So let me just connect this manage access, and if you click on it, you will see some options. Request type. Click on it, and it is asking once you have got the access what you want to do. So click on add access. It asking for the identity, which identity we need to add this access. So I want to get the identity value from our get identity object. So here it is, our get identity object, and click the ID attribute. Scroll down, ID attribute. Click on save. Now it is asking for which access to manage. So we need to provide whatever the access we will get inside the get access that we have to add with our identity. Okay. So if I am going to choose this choose variable, click on the open variable. Okay, choose get access and choose the access item, save it. Now it is asking for the comments. So click here and give one suitable comment. I'm just giving one comment by saying providing emergency access for crucial scenario. Okay, there's one more option called select duration, where we can select for how much time this access should be valid with this identity. So I'm not going to give any item here. Click on save. One thing we have to understand, from the first step till get access step, there is no way we can get any kind of error. So that's why I didn't handle any error. But with the manage access, there is a possibility that identity is not able to get the access. So in that scenario, we have to handle the error. Okay, so I'm clicking on the error handling. Here, just click on error handling. Once I click on the error handling, it is giving me two more options, error and success. Simply, it is asking if you are getting error, what you want to do, and if everything goes well, then what you want to do. So let's handle the error first, then we'll see the success. So if we are getting any kind of error, so I just want our manager to be notified. Okay, so select one more action called send email, and just connect this with our error, send email. Here we need to define our manager. So it is asking for the recipient email address. Okay, so just to select on choose variable, open variable selector, and we already have defined the object for our manager, get identity one. From here we can get the email of our manager, save it. Now if you scroll down, we are having some subject and body. I already have saved the subject, so I'm just copying and paste it. And also I have one body here for my email. Okay, so what I'm doing here, from the subject, I'm writing emergency access for, and I'm trying to fetch the identity name from the get identity action. Okay, in a body, I'm trying to fetch the manager name from the get identity one action, and also I'm sending one body by saying that your reportee has not granted any new emergency entitlement. Okay, great. Now click on save. Now after this send email action, we have to select one operator, and the selecting operator is very important because an operator indicates that your workflow has failed and it should stop here now. So for error, I'm going to select this and step failure. And if you click on it, you'll see it is asking for the failure name. So let's give some suitable name for it. Great. So now we can save it. We have successfully configured for workflow for the error related stuff.
Now let's configure for this success. So I want if my workflow will be successful, then it should notify our manager. So I have choose the send email one action, and let's connect this. Click on it, and we have to choose the recipient. Let's choose by using the choose variable. Click on open variable selector, and to get the email of the manager we need to choose the get identity one. Scroll down and choose the email attribute. So here it is. Okay, click on save. Now if you scroll down, you have to give some subject and body so that our manager can get to know for what regard this message is. So I have already created some body. I'm just pasting it out here. What I've done here, I have given the emergency access for subject, and this JSON body will give you the identity name. Then inside the body, it will get the manager name from the get identity action, and also it will give one suitable message along with the name of the entitlement body. Okay. Along with it, I want to send one more email to our identity. So I'm going to select send email again, and let's connect this. Choose the recipient, choose variable, choose the get identity action, and we need to email attribute from here. So here it is. Select save. We have to provide some subject, and for body we can give some body here by saying dear and the identity name. Then you recently have been granted emergency access to entitlement and the entitlement body. Great. Now after doing this, I have to select one operator for this success. This operator will make sure that our workflow was completely successful and will stop the workflow. Okay, so everything is looking great. Let's save it. Now let's try to test the workflow. As you can see, the complete picture of the workflow here. It will start from the interactive trigger, then it will fetch our form. From the form, it will get the identity. From the identity, we are going to fetch the value of the manager. Then we will fetch the access related data, and that access will be added to our identity. If anything will go wrong, it will send one email to our manager, and if it is will be successful, it will send one email to our manager along with the identity. Okay, so let's start the workflow test. Continue. As you can see, the first step got success and it is asking to view the interactive process. Click on it. Great, our form has been populated. So let's give one name called Sam, and let's try to give some dummy data to him. Benefits. Let's choose submit it. Okay, so form was submitted successfully. Great. Let's wait for some more time to see the success. Great. So every step is got successful. Also, it has sent one email to the manager and identity. Let's check the emails. Great. So here The recipient is Smith, that it is my identity. Dear Sam Smith, you recently have been granted emergency access, and the access name. Great. And if I see, okay, he is the manager. Dear Alex Parker, your report is Sam Smith has recently provisioned with one emergency access. Great. So our workflow test is successful. See you in the next step. So again, I'm inside my tenant. So click on admin and click on workflows. We have to make sure that the recently created workflow should be enabled, because we have to use this workflow with our launchers. Okay. Now let's navigate to the access model and click on launchers. Inside the launchers, click on new launcher. Provide some suitable name for our launcher. And we need to attach our workflow with this launcher. So it is our workflow. Save it. Once you will create this launcher, it will create one entitlement for you. Inside the entitlement section, you will be able to see. So again, navigate to the access model and click on entitlements. Check for the emergency. Okay. So as you can see, it has created one entitlement for us. We have to make this entitlement requestable so that we can provision this entitlement to the user. Okay. So I'm just making it requestable. Let me reload it. So, okay, great. Our entitlement has become requestable. Now let's jump to the request center. So I'm clicking on the request center here. Click on request for myself. From here, click on entitlements and search for emergency access provider. Click select, click on the review request and check for the request, and if everything is correct, click on submit. Great. Now click on request center once again just to check that the requested entitlement has been provisioned to you or not. So it is showing the pending status. Let me reload it. Great. This entitlement has been provisioned successfully. Okay. Now let's just click on the home button. Here you can see one option called LaunchPad. So we can launch our launcher from this LaunchPad. So click on it. And as you can see, we have our launcher here, emergency access provider. Launch it. It is asking for launch once again. So click on launch. Here it is asking for the identity. Let's select our identity Sam. And the entitlement that we need to give, that is VPN. Submit. So as you can see, form was submitted successfully, and now my workflow is trying to provision the VPN entitlement to our identity Sam Smith. So let's see inside the request center what is happening. I am clicking on view my requests, and as you can see, the Sam Smith has been granted the VPN successfully. If you see the details, everything got successful. Let's go to the identity once and let's see if he has got this access or not. Great. So Sam has got the VPN access. Now let's jump to the provider. So it is taking some time. There are some backend steps that it has to be completed, and also workflow has to send some emails. So that's why it is taking some time. So wait for 1 or 2 minutes. And if I go for our emails, so let's see. Okay, so one email I have got regarding that I have requested for the entitlement again, and this is for the which entitlement I have requested for. Okay, let's check it once again. Let me just reload it. We have got our success message. Let's check for the emails. Okay, I have got the email. Great. Sam Smith, it is for the Sam Smith, and where he has got this entitlement. Also his manager Alex Parker. Great. So everything was successful. Okay, so thank you so much.